and it was opened in the early 1860s. It stands on the site of the old Parliament building, which was constructed from timber, and it's the name for the clock and tower. Well, the clock is called the Great Clock at Westminster. The tower is called the Queen Elizabeth Tower, and Big Ben you can't actually see, as it is only the 13.5-ton bell, and it chimes on the hour and the hour. Just 5 feet tall, was very, very fat. He was said to resemble the bell, so at the time they nicknamed that bell Big Ben. That is why today, for this bridge to our right, this is Westminster of northern France, where many of our brave airmen and women lost their lives during the First and Second World Wars. Pass beneath the very busy rail system, we also pass above a rail system, as a section of the London Underground crosses beneath the Thames. Now, once we have passed through the Charing Cross Railway Bridge, once we pass through the bridge, if you then look to our right, you will see the glass-fronted building, the Royal Festival Hall. And that is the last remaining building from the 1951 Festival of Great Britain. It is, of course, a concert hall, and is fully set to commemorate Nelson's defeat over the French at the Battle of the Nile in World War years of 1939 to 1945. Mainly built by women, owing to the fact that most of our men, well, they were away fighting for king and country. Until about 2 years ago was a floating livery hall for the Honourable. As we go past the Wellington, look on the river's wall. You can see there is a stone arch and a face. The face is Old Father Thames, and the arch is called Temple Arch, and it does in fact mark an official boundary line. Cities in the world, it is also said to be one of the richest, so it's often referred to as the Magic Mile, okay, the Magic Mile. As we make our way now down through the City of London, over here to our left is the Road Bridge. It was opened in 1869 by Queen Victoria. Now, as we pass beneath this bridge, if you start looking either side of us, you will see there are these 8 red columns, 8 red supports. Now, these are all that remain of the St Paul's Railway Bridge, designed by our famous Victorian engineer, Isambard Kingdom Brunel. It carried the first steam trains across the Thames. The bridge became unsafe owing to the weight of the more modern trains, so in 1983 the top pieces were removed. And once we had done so, if you again look to the left, dominating our London sky, it was completed in 1710. It stands 365 feet high, 1 foot for each day of the year. Buried in the crypt of St Paul's are many famous buy tickets and go in there and see some of Shakespeare's plays. If you wish to do this, so much more new, the theatre is as it would have been 400 years ago. So, and you look over to the right, and in the corner of the next bridge, you will see the old public house. It's called the Anchor Inn at Bankside. Parts of the pub date back to 1615, which actually makes it stood here before. This one was sinking into the Thames mud. So in 1906, Belfast, Northern Ireland, in 1938, she is a town class battle cruiser, and she was the largest battle cruiser ever built for the Royal Navy. Her main armament consists of 12 6-inch guns. She has 6 on the front, an identical 6 on the back. Each one of those guns could fire a 100-weight shell a distance of 14 miles. She saw plenty of action during the Second World War and was most famously involved in the hunting down, the chasing, the shelling and the eventual sinking of the German pocket pipe here. We will be making a short stop here before making our way down to Greenwich. From London, if you look to the centre of all the buildings, you see the moment, folks, once you have taken your pictures, if I could then ask you to remain seated. And then as we do this, if you look to your left, you'll get impressive views of this next bridge. Now this next 1894, designed by Sir John Wolfe Barry, Gothic style to blend in with the more famous Tower of London. The two central spans you can see can each be raised and lowered safely. So take your pictures, and if you could return to your seats, this would be very much commentary, purely for your enjoyment. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gents, girls and boys. We're on board the Millennium Dawn. That's the boat we're on this afternoon. Millennium Dawn is licensed and capable of carrying 500 passengers, and we have safety equipment for that amount. This boat is filled with life rafts, life rings and life jackets. The life rafts on the side of the vessel, on the roof of the vessel here, you've got orange float-free life rafts and self-inflating life rafts. Also, this boat is fitted with life jackets. They are stowed in cupboards and boxes all around this boat and clearly marked in its correct symbol in green and white, as are the emergency exit doors clearly marked. On the upper deck here, if you actually look up the dockway to the right, to some of you it might look quite familiar. For those of you who've ever seen Lionel Bart's musical Oliver Twist, that's actually where they filmed a part of it. That is where Bill Sykes, the burglar, fell to his death, and also where Fagin kept his lair at Point. He lives over there. And also Bill Oddie from The Goodies, he lives over there. And also a very famous American singer and actress, she's having an apartment in there, in Oliver's Wolf. Now, when Mr. Pointley's out in our commentaries, like I'm doing at the moment, she actually complained to our company, the police force in the world. They was formed about 15 years before the so-called Bow Street Runners. If you think of it in days of old, there wasn't many roads and most things got transported by river. As there comes the river police got formed before the shore police. Now, do we have any American Hive in South London? Now, buried in the graveyard of that church is Captain Christopher Jones, who was the ship the Mayflower was fixed out, prior going to Plymouth to pick up the Pilgrim Fathers and then on to the New World, which we now know as America. Look to the right, is a public house there named after the vessel, the Mayflower, and a replica of the ship on the Weather Bay. But folks, near the roof of the building, you can see these signs here, New Crane Wharf and Metropolitan Wharf. Now look at the word wharf. It's spelled W-H-A-R-F. Now the word wharf is an acronym, okay? It's an acronym. Front. Did anyone know that? No, so I just made it up. It fits so there. But if you look carefully there, folks, you see the architect designed for about 1 million people, and they reckon we have over 10 million people living here in London today. So obviously the old one's worn out, no good, and they built a brand new one. Also on the left there, you see that large orange design by a couple of 7-year-olds, didn't it, with a Lego set. But really, them apartments are very clever. Each one of them apartments is guaranteed to have a river view. Just past